weekend preview is sponsored by Three Chimneys. This weekend, we've got a lot of action. It's closing weekend at Del Mar. Usually Del Mar used to close same weekend as Saratoga, but they're going a weekend further this year. So we have the Del Mar Debutante and Del Mar Futurity, which we'll get to in a little bit. But we're going to start off talking about the card Saturday at Kentucky Downs, which is a massive card with 6 graded stakes races, all, according to Bill, our intrepid journalist here, worth $1 million.
No, five of six, Joe. Five of six races are worth $1 million.
Okay. All right. Thanks for jumping in, Bill, fact-checking me. But let's run down the 6 graded stakes we've got, because it's going to be a great day of action. 12 race card. We've got the Mint Million, the WinStar Mint Million. That was canceled last weekend when Kentucky Downs had to cancel the rest of their Saturday card due to rain. We've got the Grade 3 Ladies Turf Stakes. We've got the Grade 2 Turf Sprint, which is a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. We have the Grade 2 Turf Cup Stakes, which is a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Turf. We have the Grade 3 Ladies Sprint Stakes, and then we have the Grade 2 Franklin Simpson Stakes. So we have 6 graded stakes. The last 5 comprise an all graded stakes pick 4. The pick 4 takeout is 14%. It's not like such a shill for Kentucky Downs, but how could you not? Big fields, low takeout, turf racing. It really is a bettor's paradise. I think the biggest name that's going to run on Saturday, and Bill will love this, is Gaffoe. Is going to run in the Grade 2 Turf Cup, going 1.5 miles, just 2 weeks. 2 measly weeks after winning the Grade 1 Sword Dancer at Saratoga. So he's going to be a short price in there. Like I said, full fields. Every race has 12, 13, 14 horses. We've got some 2-year-old stakes, I believe, there still coming up at Kentucky Downs. We got a Rest Me Red in the Turf Sprint. He's going to be a pretty big favorite. Just shameless plug. I'm going to handicap the Turf Cup and the Turf Sprint on my Better Things episode later today as part of our Breeders' Cup partnership. Bill, any thoughts early on from these Kentucky Downs races?
Well, I mean, the overall story is the one you already touched on. The purses and just the astronomical amount of money given away. Other than the Breeders' Cup, is there any day in American racing? I don't think the Belmont card does, where there's 5 $1 million races on the card there. And, the thing about Gaffoe, which is really cool that he's running back 2 weeks, but the reason why is because he's not being campaigned as a stallion prospect. Now, he is not a gelding. He is a horse. But for a horse that is a marathon turf horse, there's really no commercial value to them, at least in this country, as a stallion. So Christophe Clement is going for the money. He's going for the right thing here, and that's something we don't see too often. Also, again, we talked about it last week too, and from a betting standpoint, there's just absolutely nothing like this. In 12 races on the card, 176 horses have been entered. Now, that includes also eligibles. They only run 12 at Kentucky Downs, which I suppose has something to do with maybe the course is narrow in some parts. Again, I'm going off on another tangent. I'd like to see them expand the course or widen it and run 20 horse races. How do you like? They have the horses to do it. Wouldn't that be the coolest thing in the world? Joe, the other story, well, there's a couple other ones. But Arklow comes back in the Kentucky Downs Turf Cup to go against Gaffoe. He won in 2020. He was second in 2021. Wesley Ward looks really strong. Campanelle in the Mint Ladies Sprint coming back off a third-place finish at Royal Ascot. And in the Franklin spot, Clement also has big invoice, having won 6 straight races coming into that big race. So just a wonderful card at Kentucky Downs. They don't have to go up against Saratoga, but they do have to go up against Del Mar. So that will take away the spotlight from them just a little bit. But from a betting standpoint and a good racing standpoint, deep fields, and also some really, really good horses, this will be the center of the racing universe on Saturday, with apologies to Del Mar.
Yeah, for sure. And I just wanted to ask Randy too, like as a handicapper, like how do you approach these races at Kentucky Downs? Do you have anything specific that you look for?
I throw up the white flag when it comes to Kentucky Downs.
Exactly.
Kentucky Downs handicapping. I'm terrible at Kentucky Downs.
Yeah, me too.
But when you mentioned all the races and you mentioned the winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup Turf, I'll admit I just got on my formulator right here, DRA formulator, and I'm like, I guarantee you I know one horse who's going to be running in that winning you're in 1.5 miles, Arklow. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at his lifetime past performances. He's won $3 million, right? This is his meal ticket. In 2018, he won this race, and he beat Bigger Picture, who was a nice horse by a half length. In 2019, he was second in the Kentucky Cup to Zulu Alpha. In 2020, he won the Kentucky Turf Cup and beat a horse called Red Knight. In 2021, last year. He was beaten a neck in the Turf Cup by Imperador. And now at age 8, here he comes back again, and he comes off a really good second-place finish to Rock Emperor in his comeback race. He hadn't run since October of 2021. This was at Saratoga. He was beaten a half length, and he had some traffic trouble in the race. So Arklo's primed and ready to go again at Kentucky Downs. I think he'll beat Gufo.
All right. Well, there you go. There's Randy's handicapping opinion, his lone handicapping opinion for the weekend at Kentucky Downs. I think about the Turf Cup, and like that used to be the real centerpiece of the meet. Like that was it at Kentucky Downs and the old dueling grounds. Now you look at these cards and all these graded stakes races, and shout out to the graded stakes committee because they really have rewarded Kentucky Downs. It's time for them to get a grade 1, but overall they've rewarded Kentucky Downs for running these big fields and having these big purses. In general, we need fewer graded stakes in America, but this is a track that deserves more graded stakes and some grade 1s as well. And I think that they've done a good job with that. I'm interested in Campanelle running too, because this is one of the few places in America where she's going to run as close to a full field as possible. She ran against 23 horses. Last time in the Platinum Jubilee, was a close third, beat 21 of those horses. I did the math correctly, I think. That was at Royal Ascot. That was against boys as well. She's a really, really nice filly. She was also a head second in the Commonwealth Cup against boys last year at Royal Ascot. So she has done a lot in a relatively short career. She's only run 9 times. She's won 5 times. So I'm really interested in seeing her. She's going to run in the ladies sprint stakes, which is the second to last race on the card. Like I said, we have Del Mar as well coming up. We're going to get to that after the break. But this weekend preview is brought to you by Three Chimneys Stallions. Gunrunner had his latest graded winner over the weekend with Wicked Halo in the Grade 2 Prioress Stakes. The Winchell Thoroughbred's homebred is now undefeated in her last 3 starts. She's been off the board only once in her 9 lifetime starts. Gunrunner also had a juvenile winner over the weekend with Red Route 1. It was another Winchell Thoroughbred's homebred who broke his maiden at Kentucky Downs. Gunrunner has almost 30 yearlings in Keeneland September Book 1 alone, including, as we mentioned earlier, the full sister to Grade 2 Prioress winner, Wicked Halo. How many of those Gunrunners are going to be in the top 10, top 15 yearlings? My guess is he's going to have like at least a third of them because he's just an absolute sensation. I'm sure everybody at Three Chimneys feels lucky to have him. So we'll be right back after this message from Three Chimneys Stallions.
Here comes Taba. Taba in the center of the track with good-looking strides. Squares off with Cyberknife. Cyberknife takes the lead. Taba going with him. These two in a thriller. Cyberknife just in front. And Cyberknife has won the TVG.com Haskell over Taba. Jack Christopher finished third. The running time 1 minute 46.24 seconds.
Gunrunner's on top of the world!
Come, dream with us at Three Chimneys.
And it's all Tyler's Tribe to the final furlong. He's putting on another show tonight. He is 8 lengths in front. Now it's 10, now it's 12. Tyler's Tribe pouring it on as they come down to the line. He's going to win by double digits, and he stops the clock in 104.
All right, so like I mentioned, this weekend is closing weekend at Del Mar. It's a week later than it used to be because they started the meet a little bit later. We have the 2 grade 1s for 2-year-olds. That's not all, though. We do have the TVG Del Mar Debutante, which is on Saturday, grade 1 for the fillies. And then we have the Run Happy Del Mar Futurity, which is on Sunday for the boys. But we also have some other stuff at Del Mar to look forward to. We have the Del Mar Juvenile Turf Stakes, which is a grade 3 on Sunday. I think that's the first year this is graded, or maybe the second year. It's gotten some good horses in recent years, horses that have gone on to do okay in the Breeders' Cup. We also have the grade 2 John C. Mabee Stakes on Saturday at Del Mar. We have a couple other races at Kentucky Downs. We have a couple other stakes on Saturday, the ACS Ladies Marathon Stakes, the Untappable Stakes, the Nelson's Greenbrier Tennessee Whiskey Music City Stakes. Got through that in one beat. I'm a professional here. It's harder to write, I think, than it is to say. And then we also have some stuff overseas to look forward to. We have the Irish Champion Stakes this weekend. I think Mishriff is going to be in there. Videni, who's a very nice horse who's won some big races in France, is going to be in that race. We have the Prix Vermeil. It's in France as well, which is a Group 1. Del Mar has had I think has had a pretty good meet. I'm interested to see the handle when it comes out at the end of the meet, as well as the safety stats, because that's been a big thing. That's a big feather in the cap for Del Mar, I think, in recent years, is how few breakdowns they've had and how few injuries they've had. So I haven't seen any numbers yet from this meet so far, but I assume they're still chugging along in that regard, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. Oh yeah, I also want to mention the Wonderwear Stakes is on Sunday at Woodbine, which is for the restricted for Ontario-bred 3-year-old fillies. Guessing that Moira is going to go in the Prince of Wales. I'm guessing
No, Joe, she's not.
Oh, go ahead.
They have confirmed they're passing the Prince of Wales, and they're going to run next in either the Cotillion or the Queen Elizabeth II, because they want to get graded stakes victories out of her. And obviously you can't do that in restricted races in Canada.
Oh, damn. I mean, I would have liked to see her go for the Canadian Triple Crown, but I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And, has she run on dirt yet? I don't
believe she has. I think it's all synthetic, and she's never run on the turf either. So her next start, if it's one of those two, either way, it'll be uncharted territory.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye out for her wherever she runs. But yeah, definitely Del Mar, Kentucky Downs, the places to watch and be this weekend, and especially Kentucky Downs with those fields. Like Randy said, it's a tough nut to crack, especially if you do multi-race wagers. There are so many landmines in those sequences, but you can make money within the race. Theoretically, you can make money because of the low takeout and the big fields. Yeah, I mean, that's all I can think about is the opportunity, but it hardly ever works out. Yeah.